Hello everyone and welcome to the video. If you're new here, hi, my name's Louise, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today I thought I would take you through a little bit of a intro into 2022 by reviewing the expenses of 2021 and also reviewing my 2021 theme and setting my theme for 2022. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, make sure you make yourself a drink. It can be hot or cold. Sit back, relax, and let's have a look at the rest of the video. At the end of every month, my husband and I like to sit down and discuss our finances. We talk about how much we've spent, how much we've earned, and also how much we've saved. We've been doing this for about 3 years now, since 2019. Both my husband and I are savers, which is a match made in heaven when it comes to being able to invest in your future. And I think this comes down to personal experience of both of us, just the way that we were brought up and also things that we have experienced in the past in terms of our own personal debts and things like that. I know myself as a person, and I know that my ADHD can manifest in spontaneous spending. That's just something that provides a massive dopamine boost, and I feel really good when I buy something that's expensive. So I have to be strict and I have to be disciplined when it comes to my money, and these conversations every month have definitely helped. But it's not just these conversations. I also follow a very strict plan and guideline in terms of how we save, and I'd absolutely love to share it with you, especially if you are someone who is struggling with their finances. Hopefully this will give you a little bit of guidance and a little bit of structure to follow. So if that sounds like it would be interesting to you, then please continue to watch the video. I'm going to hand over to myself, who's going to explain it a little bit more in detail. Hello everyone! This is the part of the video where I thought I would go over the yearly expenses. I do enjoy doing a yearly expense recap. Unfortunately last year I lost the footage for it, so I never published it. So if you are interested in seeing, one of these that I've done before, then you can go and click the card in the left hand corner of the screen and check that one out. That's from 2019, I believe. 2020 is missing, and this will be 2021's. So let's get into it, and I will discuss a little bit about what it is we're doing, what our plans are, and how much we spent this year. Starting off in the finances section of my Notion page, we can just have a quick look at it again. I also have a Notion tour. If you are interested, you can just click this card up above there. So this is what it looks like. I've got my expense tracker, which we'll have a look at in a second. And I've just got some cute pictures from like Kiki's delivery service, a new barber, and a little bit of information about how it is we are saving. Oh, and I've also got the Christmas wish list that needs to be updated, but we'll get to that in a different video, I suppose. So I'll explain a little bit as to how the savings system works with me and my husband, and then we'll go and we'll have a look at the expense tracker and we'll see what we spent for the month and compare it to what the average Australian spending is, which is always nice to see because it keeps you on track. So first of all, we are following the system that was laid out in The Barefoot Investor. It's a really good book which helps you set up some really great habits surrounding your spending. So if that is something that is one of your goals for 2021, to get on top of your spending habits or to save a bit more or to start even investing in the stock market or something like that, then I would highly recommend you go out to your library and hire it, or you find someone who has it and borrow it from them, or just purchase it from a local bookstore. In this book, he has a system that involves 3 buckets. The buckets are Blow, Mojo, and Grow. So essentially, 100% of your income goes into these different buckets, and therefore different sorts of things. Like the Blow bucket is expenses and some splurge money, the Mojo bucket is your safety money, and the Grow bucket is your long-term wealth. Okay, so now we're going to go into the buckets and we're going to have a look at the breakdown of how we distribute our total income. So we'll have a look at the Blow one first. So this one is made up of daily expenses, splurge, and smile. So the daily expenses is things like rent, food and groceries, bills, those sorts of things. And 60% of our total income goes into that account. The next one we have splurge, which is around about 15%. Those are the little extra things that we like to buy on top. So those will be things like video games, getting my nails done, makeup, whatever it is we want to splurge and spend a little bit of money on. The Smile account is 5%, and that is basically our savings account. It's called the Smile account because you are putting money in there for things that make you smile. So if we go down here, we can see it's the what makes me smile section, and this is everything that 5% is going towards. So it was money for my business, but the business is all started now, and I had the money there and I spent it and it's gone. So we've ticked that one off. We've also got enough money for a holiday sitting in that account at the moment, which is fantastic. We are so keen to go and explore the world again once all of the COVID things have sort of died down. I am hoping beyond hope that it will be this year or early next year that we'll be able to go on holiday. It would just be lovely to get out and see the world again and learn about different cultures and things like that. So there's $15,000 in that account sitting there ready to go. Other things that make us smile is having a baby. I want to make this clear. I do not think that the baby's first year is only going to cost $17,700. I think that's a pipe dream. I do know that it's going to cost a lot more than that. This is on top of what we already spend. So it's the on top or the extra bits that I have included in there. And I'm hoping that's going to be around $17,700. I don't know about you, if you've had a baby before and you happen to know or have tracked how much that first year cost, please hit me up because I would absolutely love to make sure that I am planning for that, because we don't plan to have a baby for a very long time. I think, what is it now, 3 years? In about 3 years time, that's when we're starting to get serious about all of that stuff. So I have time to save, and I would really like an updated amount that is more realistic if that's not realistic. So please do help if you have that in mind. Finally, the last thing that makes us smile is a new car. We absolutely adore Cookie. It is a very cute, fast, little zippy car that we have taken absolutely everywhere. You name it, we have taken it off-road. Probably should not have, but have done it in the past a few times now actually. But it would be so good just to upgrade the car and be able to get something that's a little bit bigger that fits all of our stuff in it, because it is very squishy when we go camping. And yeah, that's just something that would make us smile. I would love to keep Cookie forever, but I don't think it's going to be practical in the future. So those are the things that the 5% goes towards. Moving on, we have the Mojo bucket, and that consists of the fire extinguisher account, which is for our financial fires. At the moment, 0% of our income is going into it because we're very happy with where it's sitting at the moment. There's definitely enough in there to cover any sort of issues that may arise financially, so we're not going to add to that. Instead, what we've done is we've diverted that money into our grow bucket. So we'll have a look at what the grow bucket consists of. It consists of shares and also super. So shares, we're now putting 20% of our income into those and investing into those. We've got some LICs, some ETFs, we've got gold. I don't think we have any individual companies that we're invested in. I think it's all sort of ETFs and LICs, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I should be 100% sure on that, but my husband has done a bit of rogue investing lately, so I'm not sure. But anyway, we mainly invest in those types of shares, ones that pay dividends. I do know that we have one American tech ETF as well, so there's some foreign stuff, just trying to diversify. But basically what we're trying to do is really pump up the shares so that way we can live off the dividends that come in from what we've invested, which will be great. And then also leave a legacy for the future, which would be absolutely amazing. Like, could you imagine when you pass on, just being able to make sure that your family and the families that come after you are always looked after, they always have something there. And also being able to contribute to art and culture and charities and things like that for years and years and years to come, long after you're gone. Like, that is a very exciting idea, and that's what the whole grow bucket is about. So that's what we're trying to do with the shares, with the 20% going in there. We are happy to adjust these percentages. We have in the past, and we probably will again, but at the moment that's how it's all broken down. The super, it's 9.5% of your earnings before pay, so that's just what happens to everyone who works in Australia. They have a super account, and 9.5% of your pay before you get paid goes into that account, and it's sort of like your retirement fund, which is amazing. I don't understand why other countries don't do it. I think it's great. It forces you to save, and it forces you to have something there for the future. Now that I've explained what all the buckets mean and how the savings works, I think I'm going to go ahead and talk about our expenses and how that all went down for this year. So if we have a look at the expense tracker, which I've already opened here, we can have a look at this one here, the monthly average for 2021, because what we're going to do is compare that to the Australian spending habits of Australians. Unfortunately, this is in a weekly setup, and we are looking at this second column for myself and my husband because we are just a couple and we're both under 35. So I have converted it all to monthly spend, and we're going to compare the two and see how we went. So let's have a look at housing. So housing for a couple under the age of 35, where at least one person is under the age of 35, they say that it's $381 per week for housing, which turns out to be $1,524 per month. And if we have a look at our spending on our rent / housing, which is this one here, we've done about $2,457 per month, which, you know, it's up there. We live by the beach. Our rent's pretty high. It is what it is. We love living here though, and I do love the flexibility of renting, so, you know, you win some, you lose. The next one that they have on the list is fuel and power, but then also down here they've got transport. So what I've done is I've added those together and calculated it, because if we have a look at ours, we've got transportation and auto, and that includes things like tolls, parking and bills, which I'm assuming that's what these are all about. So I'm going to combine them in order to make it make sense. So fuel and power, $35 a week, turns out to be $140 per month. And then transport, they've got $243 a week, which turns out to be $972 per month. You add them together, the total is $1,112 per month spent on fuel and power and transport. So if we have a look at what I've added together on ours, we have a look at transport and auto, which was $441 per month, and then we have a look at our utilities and bills, which was $278, and that adds up to $719 per month for the fuel, power and transport expenses. The next one is food and drinks. So we're looking here, it's $239 per week, which adds up to $956 per month. And we have a look at our expense tracker, and that's the second thing on the list, which is $1,128 per month. We do spend a lot of money on food and groceries. The next item on the list is clothing, which is $54 per week and turns out to be $216 per month. For us, we're actually pretty good on the clothing front. We spend about $67 per month on clothing, which is absolutely amazing. Let's move on to the next category. So they got medical and health expenses, and that's $69 per week, which turns out to be $276 per month. We are also less for our spending. We are $182 per month. So after medical and health, they've got alcohol, which is interesting because we don't separate our alcohol expenses out in our spreadsheet. What we do is we put them in either food and groceries or entertainment. So I've had to do a little bit of creative accounting and sort of combine some stuff together. So what I thought I might do for this one is combine the alcohol with recreation. So $39 a week on alcohol is $156 a month on alcohol, and then recreation $176 a week turns into $704 a month. If you add those together, it's $860 a month for alcohol and recreation. And then in terms of our tracking, what I combined together was personal, work and home, which is $580, and it also combined gifts and donations, which is $157, as well as entertainment and holidays. And if we have a look at all of that together, it adds up to $837 per month spent on all of that. And then finally, we want to have a look at the total spend for the month. And if we go back to here, we can see per week they're saying it's $1,572, which per month turns into $6,288. And if we have a look at our expense tracker, we are spending $5,928 per month, which is absolutely amazing. We can have a look and see the past totals for the months. In 2019, we were below the average. In 2020, we were above the average because we moved into a very expensive apartment for 6 months just to see whether a 3-bedroom apartment would be too big or too small for us. No surprise there, it's too big. We only need a 2-bedroom apartment, but it was well worth testing it out and having a look and seeing what we needed. So now we're in a 2-bedroom place, rent's gone back down, and we have again spent underneath the average Australian would spend in a month, which is fantastic. Also, what you can have a look at here is if we scroll up, so the yearly spent, so the average household is estimated to have spent $74,301 on general household living costs in 2016. If we have a look at our yearly, we're on $71,145, which is amazing. We are below the average, which is what we want to be if we want to be saving money for the future. This website that I've been getting all this information off is just moneysmart.gov.au. I'll put the link down in the description if you like, and you can go out and check it if you're very interested in seeing what people spend their money on. It's got all these different breakdowns. They've updated the graphics since I showed you it last time. For some reason it doesn't load properly, which can be very annoying, but it does have a lot of very interesting stats. So like I said earlier, if saving money or being better with your money habits is something that you want to work on in 2022, then I would recommend also going to this website and having a look and seeing sort of the tips that it's got for you there, because it's quite good. And that concludes this little section of the video. On with the rest of the video. 2021 was another weird year. We faced another lockdown which lasted so many months, and I know it was difficult for me to get through, but what really helped was being able to talk to you all and those regular videos that I did during lockdown. So I just want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for being there and watching my videos, liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. It means a lot to me, and I know I say this every year. It's very hard to be able to get this across how much it does mean to me to be able to share my life and the things that I'm going through with you all. I do hope that it benefits those out there who are watching. I hope you feel less alone, and I hope you feel like you've got someone there who understands. For those of you who watched my last video, I talked about how I find doing the dishes very soothing and relaxing and meditative. And I wanted to show this footage not just because I had nothing to film this day, but also because my theme for 2021 was to be present. So I thought, what better way to show myself being present than me washing my dishes and cleaning my house and getting my environment in tip-top shape so that I could be ready for the start of 2022. My theme for 2021 was to be present, to not worry about what was going to happen a few moments from now, a few hours from now, tomorrow, in a few weeks' time. As someone with ADHD, and a symptom of that ADHD being anxiety, being present is quite difficult for me to achieve. But I wanted to set this theme because it is something that I want to improve and work towards and get better at. I don't want to be inside my head as much. I don't want to be chattering and talking away and thinking about 101 things all the time. I want to be calm, and I want to be in the moment. And I've noticed throughout this year of attempting to be present as much as possible, a lot of that chatter is judgment, a lot of self-judgment. So I've decided that in 2022, my theme is going to be serenity. I'm really leaning into stoicism and trying to change my beliefs around the fact that my thoughts affect myself as a human. Thoughts are just thoughts. They're changeable and they're also ephemeral. They will come and go. I don't need to fixate on them. I don't need to judge them. They can simply be, and that is it. The way in which I hope to achieve this theme for 2022 is by practicing a few techniques that I've learnt from meditation and also that I've learnt from my psychologist. So one of them is grounding, where I take some deep breaths and I notice how my body is making contact with the floor or with the chair or with some kind of surface, even just clasping my hands together. Another technique is to say stop or not now when there's a troubling thought that comes into my head. And the third technique that I think I'm going to try quite a bit of this year is visualization. So instead of the thought being words in my head, the thought becomes a cloud, and then that cloud disappears into wisps. If you have any techniques or any advice that would help, please feel free to share it in the comments below. I would love to hear your ideas. Also, if you think that achieving serenity or trying to achieve serenity is something that interests you, I'd be more than happy for you to let me know that this is something you're doing as well, and I'd love you to keep me updated as I'll keep you updated. If you have something else planned for 2022, equally please share it down below, because I'd love to hear what it is that you are looking forward to or aiming for in your new year. I'm really looking forward to 2022. I don't know what's going to happen, which can be exciting but also daunting at the same time. But I know if my husband's by my side, my family and my friends are by my side, if you're by my side, we're going to get through it just fine. I'm wishing you a happy new year, good luck for 2022, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.